Every gardener hits a wall. The compost looks great, the mulch is thick, watering is consistent, but the plants? They just won't take off. You give them what they need, on paper, but deep down you know something isn't working. That's where I found myself not long ago. Decent soil, a healthy compost pile, regular organic inputs, and yet the plants still seemed like they were holding back. Leaves were a bit pale, root growth was shallow, yields were fine but not impressive. I wasn't looking for a miracle, I just wanted to unlock the full potential of my soil. What I found was a living solution that had been missing all along. After introducing a single type of microbe, just one, the changes were undeniable. My plants didn't just grow, they exploded in size, they tripled in biomass, root systems expanded dramatically, water usage dropped, nutrient uptake soared, and all I did was reintroduce a natural partner that soil systems evolved with millions of years ago. In this guide, we're going deep into the science of how this microbe works, how it changed my soil biology, and how you can safely and effectively use it in your own garden. Whether you're working in containers, raised beds, or native ground, this information will completely reframe how you think about soil fertility. The microbe that made the difference is something few gardeners talk about, but every healthy ecosystem depends on it. It's called arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, or AMF for short. This isn't just compost fungus or decomposer mold. AMF forms a symbiotic relationship directly with plant roots. When it colonizes a plant, it weaves itself into the root structure and extends far out into the soil, creating a massive microscopic web called the mycelial network. Here's why this matters. Plant roots alone can only access a limited zone of nutrients and water, but when AMF is present, it expands the reach of those roots exponentially. These fungal hyphae stretch out through the soil, sometimes meters from the original root, and bring back critical nutrients like phosphorus, zinc, calcium, and water that would otherwise be out of reach. In return, the plant shares carbohydrates and sugars produced through photosynthesis with the fungus. It's a closed-loop partnership built by nature where both parties win, and the result is significantly improved plant growth, health, and resilience. In my own test garden, after applying AMF spores to a few young plants, I saw faster establishment, more robust foliage, stronger stems, and deeper root systems. In a matter of weeks, the difference between treated and untreated plants was stark. The inoculated plants weren't just a little bigger, they were massive. So if AMF is so beneficial, why isn't it already in your soil? So the problem really lies in how we manage soil today. Modern gardening techniques like heavy tilling, the overuse of synthetic fertilizers, and using sterile growing media all disrupt or even prevent mycorrhizal colonization. And, even a lot of composts and organic soils lack viable spores, especially if they've been exposed to high heat or too much disturbance. Plants just won't develop a fungal partnership unless the right species of arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi is present and, well, the soil conditions actually allow it. That's why, even though many gardeners use organic methods, they still end up unknowingly gardening with biologically incomplete soil. Without arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, your plants are basically doing all the work alone. They're not accessing those deeper nutrients. They're not building a microbial community. They're isolated. And honestly, that translates into weaker growth, less resilience, and more work for you as the gardener. So, once applied properly, arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi spores germinate in the presence of root exudates. Those are chemical signals released by plant roots. The fungi then actually penetrate the root cortex and form these tree-like structures called arbuscules right within the root cells. These arbuscules act as transfer points for nutrients and water. Externally, the fungal hyphae create these vast networks that scavenge the soil for minerals. Phosphorus is a major one. It's often locked up and pretty immobile in soil, but it's easily delivered by AMF. The fungi also help with nitrogen efficiency, potassium uptake, and even trace element absorption. What's more, AMF can actually improve soil texture and aggregation. Their hyphae secrete a substance called glomalin, which binds soil particles into stable crumbs, making aeration and water retention a whole lot better. This isn't just a biological trick, it's actually a complete reorganization of your soil's physical and chemical structure, and well, it's all powered by one class of microbe that we've mostly forgotten to include. If you're ready to introduce AMF into your garden, here's how to do it right. First, you need to understand that AMF needs direct root contact. Sprinkling it on the soil surface and just walking away won't work. The fungi will only germinate when they sense nearby roots. So, honestly, the best time to apply it is during planting or transplanting. You can coat roots with mycorrhizal powder dusted into planting holes or even mix it with water and pour it directly into the root zone. If you're working with seeds, just dust them lightly before planting. And for existing plants, a soil drench placed near the stem, followed by watering in, can really help spores reach the active root zone. When selecting products, it's crucial to use those that contain live spores of Glomus intraradices, Glomus mossi, or other common AMF strains. You should also look for quality brands that avoid excessive fillers and clearly list viable spore counts. It's all about ensuring you're getting the real deal. Importantly, you want to avoid combining your inoculation with high-phosphorus fertilizers. These fertilizers can reduce the plant's need to engage with fungi, which is not what we want. Instead, try feeding with compost, compost tea, worm castings, or balanced, low-input organic nutrition until colonization is established. That's the way to go for healthy plant-fungi interaction. Within a week or two, you'll start to notice better turgor, plants holding their shape longer between waterings, and soon after, leaf color deepens, stems thicken, and root systems expand. Over time, the entire plant becomes more efficient, growing with less water, less fertilizer, and showing fewer signs of stress. It's really quite remarkable to see the transformation. If you're growing vegetables, expect earlier fruiting and heavier yields. For flowers, you'll likely see fuller blooms and more uniform growth. But honestly, the best results often show up underground, where the roots develop strong, fibrous structures supported by the expanding mycorrhizal network. And the beauty of this system is its persistence. As long as the soil remains biologically active and undisturbed, the fungal network will continue to support your garden year after year. You're not just feeding your plants, you're rebuilding a living, functional soil ecosystem. There are hundreds of tools and tricks out there to improve your garden, but few have the sheer impact of reintroducing beneficial soil microbes, especially mycorrhizal fungi. So, this microbe doesn't just make plants grow faster, actually it restores a biological link that most soils have lost over time. It empowers plants to, forage for themselves. Plus, it increases nutrient efficiency, drought tolerance, and disease resistance, all while reducing your need for external inputs. On Soil Doctor, we focus on real regenerative solutions, and this one really deserves a permanent place in your toolkit. If you learned something new today, go ahead and subscribe to Soil Doctor for more deep dives into the science behind great gardening. Share this video with a fellow grower who's ready to take their soil health to the next level. And hey, drop your questions below. I'd love to hear your experiences with soil microbes and help troubleshoot your journey. Let's grow smarter, not harder, one microbe at a time. Subscribe to Soil Doctor and join a community committed to living soil, better yields, and truly sustainable gardening.